journey, some stable diffusion, just combinations, so we can get some of the mapping to be similar to our actual site, but not and not deviate so much, but still having the creativity of the AI that we usually get. So something that I tried a few with this image that we have in our folder, and kind of tried to keep it similar. Obviously it doesn't really do that, which you already know, but it does create some really interesting mapping, especially when you do something that's a bit more specific, like here I added soil composition colors, but then I literally told it the data of the color that it needs to show on the map. So I told it a range of 5-6 colors, and tried to get it as close as plan view as possible. So if you keep it within plan view, not perspective, you can also add a no prompt, so a -- no perspective, so that way it just keeps it in plan. And like here it's not necessarily in plan, so but here it is. It's kind of perfect. It looks kind of similar to our site, maybe even though it's not. I'm kind of training it, so I added a little bit, one more image, and I tried to do this one to see if I can get back to this other image, but it kind of started to, but I think it needs to be a little bit more specific on that. So once I got some of these really interesting images that are kind of reference from something else that I had downloaded online. So the image that I was referencing myself as inspiration was this one, and that's how I started telling it. That's why I started telling it these type of colors, because I thought the inspiration was really nice. I'm going to do that here. The next thing I started doing is stable diffusion. So I'll add the link for the stable diffusion model, local model, for anyone that can do this and that can't do the online version. So if you just look up like how do you install a stable diffusion locally, it'll come up with a bunch of tutorials on how to do it, and I'll link the one that I used that I liked. So with that, the stable diffusion interface is a lot different than the control net. So here you have text to image versus image to image. I've been using the image to image, where you can put a prompt. You can put the negative prompts here. It's kind of it's a part. It's not the same one. And then I'm going to do this. So here you can do a prompt, and then here you can do the negative. So I don't want any negatives because it started shooting negatives at me and I wanted it to stop. So here you can upload the image if you have it in your downloads, and I think you can edit your image, so like edit the cropping, so if you don't want it to be so far away. And then oops. Alright. So you can look at here, so there's a sampling method, you can play around, there's various, so the ones that I've used is Euler 8 and Keras. I kind of like the Keras the best, just because it kind of creates the most realistic one compared to the other one. The sampling steps is just like rendering, it just takes a little longer if you go higher. You can do tiling for something that's a bit more like pattern making and something that you want it to be repeated, so that way it's a little bit further away in perspective, and then the width and the height in pixels. So I would suggest, the default is at 500. I would suggest to put it up. So try to at least do this one at 1800 and then this one at least at 1000 and more. You know the pixel size for a regular image, and on a computer that is good quality by now. And from that you can kind of test out all these other ones. There's resize, like upscale, so just test it out. You can play around with it. So this is one of the tests that I got. I kind of added a bunch of different testing prompts. So I started with like these first ones, and then I added this second part right here, and then I added this third part right now. The way that the stable diffusion, the local stable diffusion works, you have to have at least like 10 to 15 gigabytes of storage. You need to have a good GPU and RAM, and just a pretty good computer to be able to run this, because it has, if I am doing too much on the computer, it crashes, which means an older computer is probably not gonna be able to handle this well. So, and if you have a good computer but you don't have enough storage, I would suggest trying to see if you can put it on a external hard drive. I'm not sure how well that works. I haven't tried it myself, but you can try it. You have the ETA for the image, and so the way that it's kind of local, there's a stable diffusion folder that you install within your user folders on your computer. The online tutorial will go through all that, how to do that. And when you get there, you go down, and then webui.bat, you double click on it, and once you open it, it'll do this command window. You don't have to do anything with it. The nice thing is that once you open it and you start it, I think somewhere in here's the actual IP address. So this IP address I usually just do Control-C for copy, and then I'll paste it onto the web browser. Just a Chrome works, or anything else that you use works. It doesn't have to be specific, and then you copy paste onto here, hit enter, and then you'll get into this prompt, or into this web interface. I have some extra ones here, like the forum. The forum is great for animation. If you get to there and you want to experiment, that's something else. Sometimes it'll render out a bunch of images for the animation, kind of like stop motion, and it's really interesting to see each step that it takes to create the animation. Then, okay, while this renders out, I will show you in the same folder, there's an output folder, and then there's an image to image, because they have all these tabs. It'll put it into different tabs. These are the forum folders that I've been using, that I've been rendering for my animations. As you can see, there's just a lot of them. But for the image to image, it just does everything within the same date folder. So today's the 10th, I have that 10th folder on here, and you can see all the tests that I've ran within the past maybe like 30 minutes. It didn't take me that long to run all these tests. Some of them came out great, some of them not so much. This one and this one came out pretty good. I think they're here, yes. So this is with the first prompt, so the striation with colors, to make kind of like a soil composition, and then this one for kind of almost like mountain ranges within pockets of land, which I thought was really interesting. And okay, so then the purpose of this is really interesting too. This came out really detailed, gives you a lot of color and then some texture. So, and you can play around with that if you get to this point. I don't know if you're gonna be using specifically stable diffusion or not. So there's two ways to get some inspiration images that you can use for Photoshop. So Photoshop beta is the one with the with AI integrated. So regular Photoshop is not gonna get you there. You're gonna want to go into, I'm gonna minimize that, and I'm going to search Creative Cloud, and you're going to click on that, and once you click on that, you're gonna get this interface. So this interface, you want to go down to beta apps, and in beta apps you're gonna see this, and everything is called beta. You're gonna download Photoshop beta. You should be able to download it if you're already part of the Institute and you already have other Adobe downloaded. So it should be pretty simple. Once you're here, you're gonna see this little bar. This bar, it moves around whenever you choose something, so you can choose to pin it. I forgot where. Okay, pin bar. That way it doesn't move every time that you. So you're gonna go to the lasso tool right here. The bar right now is gonna say select subject, remove background. That's it. So with the lasso tool, you're going to take this, and that's how you get the generative fill. So I've tried out a few prompts. They're not very great when you don't have anything else to reference. So I would refrain from that for now. What I did is I took this image from Midjourney, downloaded it, and I thought, okay, this is really interesting because I like the way that this form kind of interacts with this and the little islands that are here, and especially with the colors. So I rotated it, I tried to kind of manipulate it a little bit, and then I went into the filters right here. I thought the best one, you can do a lot of them, like darken, it's not so great, color dodge, lighter color is pretty good, it merges with the picture a lot better, and there's overlay, but it's very high contrast, so you have to, like, you know, get the contrast bar and actually put it down. You can change the color if you want to maybe like manipulate it a little bit differently and to filter it differently, but you kind of want to maintain the shape of it, or like the crispness of it. So if it's something like hue, see, this is just kind of an overlay, like a straight overlay into the map. You don't want that. So luminosity works really well. Lighter color I think is my favorite because it really just deletes anything that you don't need, and anything that you need on the land is kind of perfect. Maybe if you're thinking about manipulating the water more, then you could kind of go into some other one, like this one. Luminosity is perfect for water. You can kind of see the striations on the image. That's really nice. So I would probably just duplicate this, and this one will be my water one. So let's see, I want it here. See that island? And this island, kind of perfect for that. This is if you're working here. Maybe actually, since I'm working over here, how about I do this? This is probably better. And then it kind of connects with this a little bit, so maybe it just works. Okay. I'm going to mask. Okay. Let me delete layer and delete layer. So here you mask with this once you're over this layer, and this layer I'm gonna add another mask. So I'm gonna turn this off. This mask is going to be, oh, this layer is actually gonna be different, lighter color. So it's kind of perfect. I don't really need to delete too much. If I want to delete something, maybe over here. And then I'll go over here. I'll make sure that it's rasterized, so that way you don't, usually when you don't have it rasterized, you can't manipulate the image. So rasterize layer. Once you're there, I'm going to stamp and see this little bridge coming in. I'm going to maybe continue my pink color here, continue this kind of bridging effect here, and kind of manipulate the blend a little bit. I really like, the reason why I chose this image here is because I like the way that I interact with this edge. So it almost looks like similar as this part over here that it's adding onto. And then this land or sand over here actually continues into what this image provided here. So that's why I chose it. So there's many options to choose an image. Just see whatever works best for you. So I'm going to scale up a little bit more. And then for this, I want to get this out. And then maybe this too. I don't want this. Going to, right now I'm using wand right here. I'm gonna delete. Some of the rivers that were here before, when I was using this as on luminosity, I just duplicated the lighter color image, and I'm going to do luminosity. That's really interesting too here. And I'm gonna overlay and just delete everything else. And just try to blend it as much as possible. If you want to keep some of this because it works better, it kind of keeps the color while giving the contrastness of luminosity, which is really good. I think that's what you need to make it more land-based. This luminosity over here needs to merge a little bit better. So now that we have these rivers kind of connecting here, I may do something like this, and you know, you just have to perfect it. So the way that I'm kind of seeing this is more like a bridge. Maybe this is a little bit too much, but it's kind of getting there. I could lower the opacity a little bit. I'm seeing that it's doing this line over here. I kind of like that line because we are trying to explore the way that these houses are starting to encroach into the wetland. So if we are trying to, you can press B or brush to bring back some of this if you want to go back. So I'm kind of just copying this over into different spaces. So just manipulating the land, and all of this was just, you know, a little bit of AI generation, and then land. And then if you're kind of done with this image and you want to do maybe some experimentation with AI on Photoshop, then okay. So then you do Shift Option Command, or Shift Option, whatever the opposite of Command for Windows is, E, and then you get this image, which is the full combination of all of the layers into one image. Or you can just copy it all into one folder and then merge layers, merge group if you want to. I'm gonna turn this off for now. I don't need anything else. This is my actual image that I want to use. I'm going to zoom in. I am only working on this area. Maybe I'm just going to do this. Oops. Maybe this is the area that I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna add this. Select inverse. Oops, no. Back. Mask. And you can delineate the area better if you want to. So maybe delete all that. Okay. You know your areas, they're gonna be better delineated. This is not. This is kind of a blob. Don't follow exactly with the blob. But okay, so now that I'm here, I want to do a lasso. Maybe I just want to merge the rivers here, and I could try that. Merge. It doesn't really know that this is a map. The AI doesn't really know that this is a map and it has rivers. So you're going to have to tell it exactly as what you're seeing. If someone didn't know that this was a map, what are they seeing? These are black lines, right? Black lines, or black organic lines. I'm just gonna leave it there. This may not work at all. We will see. That's really funny. Well, this is very similar, but still not. So, you know, if this would have come out a little bit better, you can definitely use it even more. I'm just gonna say that it did come out exactly how I wanted to, even though I didn't really. But I kind of see opportunity everywhere, so you can just try it. You can try to salvage some of these things if you want to. So right now it came with the mask already on it. So I'm just choosing all these gray parts and trying to delete them. Select inverse. I took the black, I selected inverse, and then I just reversed the selection. So here, and that's it. You can also take warp. Oops. That means I can't. Let me see if I can warp here. Nope. So you're gonna have to rasterize image. I'm just converting to smart object and rasterizing again. And I'm going to warp. That kind of allows me to stretch these things a little bit. just to merge them with some of the this is my way to fix that part. Alright, I'm going to filters are your friend, try to use them, see how it's kind of letting me do the color dodge. You can also, I kind of like the way that it does this screen, and I'm just going to get it to be more contrasty. I'm going to do hue saturation, colorize, because it's black right now, it's not going to be able to be a color, but now it is, right? There you go. And let's say it is light blue, and brightness and contrast, that's what I was trying to do. Try to go back to hue and saturation. What if we do for soft light? None of it really works well, but you're gonna be able to experiment a bit more. Kind of like that too. It matches some of the colors over here, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I think that's it for now, but here I can already start seeing that this is a hard edge that I can use to create a 3D. Here as well, this part's really interesting. I kind of like it. As a oops. I kind of like it as well as potential 3D, and here as well, especially here actually. You can interpret this as negative or positive inversion within the 3D. Don't forget to add the houses and some of the structures that are kind of encroaching into the land. You don't want to leave them behind. And that's it for now. Ask any questions if you have any, and thanks.